she replied under Go See Snow White and then responded to her own post with, oh, and by the way, free Palestine. There is no comparison Gal Gadot saying, hey, go see my movie, and then 2 days later posting something that said, you know, pray for the victims of the Hamas terrorist attack on October 7th, 2023.
It's very interesting, too, because now all of Rachel's fans are going over to his Instagram, just completely trolling him.
I've seen a lot of Rachel bots, and I only see this for Disney stuff, I swear. But every time Disney has a mediocre or failed project, the bots and the interaction online for that failed project is off the scale. Online. Let me get this one to kind of wrap up the Snow White conversation here. Snow White producer Mark Platt's Nepo baby son, Jonah, this is the title from the UK Daily Mail post, unleashes explosive tirade against woke Rachel Zegler. This is actually pretty funny. So Jonah Platt, the son of film producer Mark Platt. Now, Mark Platt, that's the name that we were discussing just a little bit ago. That's the producer that had to fly out to go have a sit down with Rachel and tell her to chill the hell out because she's sinking the movie, right? The 38-year-old who is Mark's eldest child, this is Jonah, took to Instagram in a now deleted post to brand, I'm sure he got a phone call from his dad to back off, which he probably should have left it up. It might have actually helped the movie. To brand Zegler, age 23, as, quote, immature and insinuate that she has, quote, narcissistic tendencies. So this is the son of Rachel's boss on this movie. It's just chewing her out. In the wake of an article published...
Well, do you have the whole thing? Because I've got it if you don't.
The whole what? The tweet?
Yeah, the whole
it's right here.
Okay,
right
sweet.
Here. Yeah. No, because UK Daily Mail saved it. In the wake of the article that we just discussed from Variety magazine, the one that we were just reading, on Tuesday, which stated that Mark had flown to New York to speak with Zegler about her controversial social media posts, one fan left a comment on his son Jonah's Instagram. It read, your dad flew to New York City to reprimand a young actress. Any word on this? Because that's creepy as hell and uncalled for. People have the right to free speech. No, shame on your father. This was Jonah's response. And again, this is a grown man. This is a 30-year-old responding to some little twit that came at him. He says, do you really want to do this? Yeah. My dad, the producer of the enormous piece of Disney IP, with hundreds of millions of dollars on the line, had to leave his family to fly across the country to reprimand his 20-year-old employee for dragging her personal politics into the middle of promoting the movie for which she signed a multi-million-dollar contract to get paid and do publicity for. This is called adult responsibility and accountability, and her actions clearly hurt the film's box office. Free speech does not mean that you're allowed to say whatever you want in your private employment without repercussions. Tens of thousands of people worked on that film, and she hijacked the conversation for her own immature desires at the risk of all the colleagues and crew and blue-collar workers who depend on that movie to be successful. Narcissism is not something to be coddled or encouraged.
That was very well said.
That's a winner. I mean, he could have, I don't know how he restrained himself beyond that because there was so much more he could have said. But I thought it was a very well thought out response. How about, Rachel?
What would you say you do here?
I mean, because we haven't figured it out yet for this movie, except to sink it. I mean, apart
did you
from
see
Rachel's
the follow-up that he did,
the follow-up that Jonah Platt did.
Mm-hmm.
What did he say?
Well, because he replied to someone else. Did they include that one?
No, I don't think they did. Do you have it?
That was the only. Okay, yeah, bring that up because I didn't see.
Yeah, I've not seen it.
Yeah. Oh, I've saved it all.
She's like, I got the receipts. Don't worry.
Unless it's tagged. The problem is with this, it's so. I mean, they have that one, and they have a few responses to it. If you want to, oh, you got it. Okay, here we go. Thank you, Steph.
You're
Go for it.
welcome. Of course.
Yeah.
I always keep receipts. Someone else commented and said, did your father also travel to talk to Gal since the beginning? She has used her social networks to talk about politics in Israel. And then he replied back, show me anything related to Snow White that Gal randomly made about Israel.
Exactly. That's exactly what we were talking about earlier. Gal Gadot never made a post on her Instagram page saying, go see Snow White. And by the way, fuck Hamas. Or something like this. I mean, it never happened, which I would have been fine with. Nobody should like a terrorist organization. But the point is that Gal Gadot, and he's right, never commingled the two things.
Nope.
Never. And this guy just kept going at him. He says she uses her social media to talk about politics at the same time she was talking about the Snow White movie. You know very well why you picked on Rachel simply because she doesn't have the same political views as your family. It's just, no. He's wrong.
Yeah,
he's
very
totally wrong. We're talking about on the same post. On the same post. She replied under go see Snow White and then responded to her own post with, oh, and by the way, free Palestine. There is no comparison Gal Gadot saying, hey, go see my movie. And then 2 days later posting something that said, pray for the victims of the Hamas terrorist attack on October 7th, 2023.
Yeah. Now all of Rachel's fans, it's very interesting too, because now all of Rachel's fans are going over to his Instagram and, just leaving just completely trolling him.
You mean the bots? I've seen a lot of Rachel bots. Every time, and I only see this for Disney stuff, I swear, I have no idea how. But every time Disney has a mediocre or failed project, the bots and the interaction online for that failed project is off the scale.
There are a couple of Rachel Stan accounts that have a lot of followers that are telling their followers where to go and who to pick on. They're sort of creating.
Oh no, these are they have 500 followers or 1,000 followers, and they put out a post about Rachel or Snow White, and it gets 231,000 interactions on X.
Oh no, this account is a little bit bigger.
Yeah, that's the kind of thing that I see. But these people are nuts, and they all have this is what they want, and I've taken screenshots of some of these bot accounts. You can here's how you tell. Every one of these accounts sharing Rachel stuff and that are getting way over indexed on the interactions. They all have Rachel Zegler profile pictures, and they have 500 followers, and they have. I mean, I see a half a dozen of them every day.
Make sure you're subscribed to Valiant Renegade and join us every Sunday at 6 p.m. Eastern for the live show.